Hi, I'm Ron Bankey with Saltwater Angler. Today we're really privileged to have an old friend of mine who's been in the fishing business for over 40 years and knows these baits like the back of his hand. And I want to introduce you to David West. He's been around a long time and he's got a lot of knowledge. I'd like for him to share it with you. David, let's talk about it.
Well, Ron, we're coming into fall season, and that's my favorite time to fish.
Mine too.
And this is one of the bigger transition times weather-wise for the fish. The water's starting to cool down, so the fish are going to get a little more active. And, one of the big things right now when the water cools down, that the bait goes away. Okay, so you don't have any live shrimp, or croakers are too big to fish with, so what do you go to? Artificials.
Artificials, yeah.
One of the long-time artificials that's been around, artificial shrimp, is the DOA.
Yeah.
And the DOA is good, and what most people overlook on the DOA, it was one of the first baits ever impregnated with real shrimp. It's actually got real shrimp in the plastic.
I didn't know that, and I've been using DOAs for many years.
I know. It's overlooked with most people. People use them, they catch fish, and they still work. It's a great artificial bait. But the shrimp is kind of a hot thing right now.
Oh, yeah.
It has really evolved. And some of the shrimp that's coming out that's new now are like the voodoo shrimp. That's kind of becoming the go-to shrimp these days. And just look at it. That looks good enough to put on the grill.
Yes, it does.
And the voodoo is unique in that what they've done with it, it has a mylar strip that goes through the tail. The tail is segmented all the way down, if you can see that, and it's a mylar strip that runs the length of the tail. So piggies or anything, or even several trout, are not going to pull that tail off.
I'll be dadgum.
That is the beauty of the voodoo shrimp and what it's doing.
Now, the bigger sizes are just the same?
Same thing, right.
Same way?
That's the selling feature of the voodoo, is that mylar strip that runs through the tail. It's a segmented tail that gives a lot of action when it swims, but that mylar strip gives it a lot of strength, so you're not going to pull it off. And you can fish with it multiple times. The voodoo came out, and so the evolution of the shrimp baits has continued. So you go on a little farther. Now this bait, this is a Savage 3D shrimp, and what they've actually done there, they've taken a CAD mechanical drawing in a computer, taken a shrimp and reproduced it just like a real shrimp. It's in detail just like what a real shrimp would be. So that even goes one step further. Look at this one. That is a Savage 3D.
Oh, I like that one best.
It looks just like a shrimp.
It does.
Now they're incorporating the same technology in here, that there's a mylar strip through the tail.
Yeah.
But the difference is that it is so exact in its design and its appearance, it looks identical to a shrimp.
Have you fished with this one?
As a matter of fact, I'm glad you asked.
I'm glad I did too.
Because just last week, fishing with this shrimp under a popping cork, I caught a 45-inch redfish.
Wow.
On the Laguna Madre in 3 foot of water.
Wow.
Yeah, largest redfish I've ever caught in shallow water.
Well, now, how were you working this thing?
Under a popping cork, and with about a 2 foot leader, and just popping it, keeping it working.
Yeah.
It had a little chop on the water, so I needed to make a little noise, so kept it working. One of the secrets I always use with all my lures is this gel right here. This is called Procure gel, and it's a
super gel.
Super gel. This is a flounder pounder flavor, but they have a shrimp flavor, which is my go-to because everything eats a shrimp.
Right.
Coming into redfish and drum season, they have a crab flavor, menhaden, mullet, a bunch of different flavors. It's available about anywhere. But it's a gel. It's very sticky. It adheres to plastic. You don't want to get it on your hands because it stays with you. But it sticks to bait. I was using shrimp ProCure gel on the 3D Savage shrimp under a popping cork. And I had caught 2 smaller reds that day, 2 undersized, 18, 19 inches, and the cork went under, and an hour later, put him in the boat.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, that's great. Now, how long does this stay on the lure? Or
A long time. These are, I think, 2-ounce bottles.
yes, it's 2 ounce.
2-ounce bottles, and I fish probably 2 times a week. Go whenever I can, and a bottle of that will last me a month. And I keep it on my baits. It'll probably last, depending on how many fish you catch. You know, I'll change or put it on when I might lose my confidence.
Yeah.
You know, I can't say that the scent's gone off the bait. It's just when I lose my personal confidence about not having enough on it. Now, coming into drum and redfish season, when you know they're starting moving and the water gets a little colder, the blue crab on this.
Okay.
Work on anything. Put blue crab ProCure on a blue crab and put it out, because it spreads a scent so thick in the water that you know you're going to cover all your bases.
Good.
Moving through, you know, we're talking about the Voodoo and what's really hot right now. This is their new hot bait coming out from Voodoo, the shrimp people, and it's called the Voodoo Mullet. Virtually, they're using the same technology in kind of a soft plastic hard bait, but segmented sections with the Kevlar running through it, 1 treble hook off the belly, and this is replicating the corky bait.
Yeah.
A slow sinker. It doesn't take much movement to get that tail working, so you can work it real slow, which is a great bait, particularly when the water, you know as well as I do, when that water gets colder, everything slows down.
Everything goes slower.
And in tune with that, this is the newest thing from MirrOlure, LNS Lures, from makers of the Paul Brown's Corky.
Corky, yeah.
Their knockoff. This is the Soft Dine, which is a real soft bait. It's a smaller version of the Corky, another slow sinker. This is one of those baits that I like to call match the hatch, you know, from the old saying, because it's smaller.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, it's springtime. You get a migration of the small shrimp. The little shrimp are starting to move out. In the fall, it's kind of the same way when the menhaden and the little bait fish are in the water. When the fish are feeding on smaller baits and you have to work it slow, this is a terrific bait.
Yeah, it looks it.
Terrific bait.
Okay.
It's one of those baits when that fish grabs it, he feels like he's got something natural.
Yeah.
You know, and that's where a lot of the hard baits are going to right now, are these harder baits like that. Now, one thing I wanted to show you here, because we're in redfish season, you know how the redfish are going crazy right now. And spoons have always been a staple item in the tackle box. You know, a gold spoon will catch anything.
That's correct.
You know, just about any surf or in the lagoon or wherever you are. This is a new spoon that's come out. It's from Florida. It's called Aqua Dream. This is a weedless spoon with a single hook. It's got a removable hook on it. You can change hooks on it. It's got a stainless steel hook. This is an old design that's got a center hook right here in the middle.
Right.
It's got a weed guard. It's got a flexible weed guard that if the hook gets rust, you just take it off and put another hook in it.
There you go.
But this has turned out to be one of my favorite spoons. I really like this copper hammered blade.
Yeah.
In that when the water gets a little dirty, if we've had some storms and it's turned up a little bit, that copper blade is just awesome. You know, spoons cover a lot of water, move fast, find a fish. You know, it's hard to beat a good spoon.
It is.
And this is Aqua Dream Lures, and they've got gold. You've got a 24 karat gold. Now, I found about getting melted down. The price of gold's going up so much.
Yeah, right.
That's a spoon is a great item. Now, moving over to soft plastics, a couple of the hot items that's really been going here lately. This is from Gambler, the Flappin' Shad, and this has been a really, really hot bait in the colder weather. You notice it's a bigger bait,
Yeah.
real long tail. You can work it real slow. The tail gives the bait a lot of action, and it's got a cavity in the middle that you can do a weighted hook
Yeah.
or a lead head. I like a weighted hook in it because you can bury the hook up in top,
Yeah.
almost Texas style, and that gives you a weedless version if you're fishing.
About
for
like
grass.
these soft plastic shrimp.
Yeah, just about like
They
the
have
same.
to
Make you hungry.
smell something.
Must be that super gel.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, those are nice. Now these used to be a little shorter tail, didn't they?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I remember using these, but
Yep.
didn't have such a long tail.
Yeah. The original Flappin' Shad was a 4-inch.
Yeah.
It was a little shorter one.
Yeah.
And that still works good.
Yeah.
They still make that with saltwater colors. I brought this one because I've found the 6-inch works better. I mean, it covers more ground.
Yeah.
It gives a more presence in the water. It's just a bigger identity in the water itself. The tail seems to float up a little bit. Even if you let it drop on the bottom, that tail will float up and just wiggle with the current. It's a terrific bass bait too, but I really do like that for trout. They've got probably every color imaginable. This is called Kool-Aid color here, which is purple with blue fleck, and it turns almost red in the water. Then the other, this is one of the old standard favorite. I know you've fished Bass Assassins many times.
Oh yeah.
This is a really hot bait that's come out from Bass Assassin this last year, really gotten hot. This is called a dye dapper. And a dye dapper, according to Saltwater Assassin, is a bird on the East Coast. And why they name a worm after a bird, I don't know. But if it's similar to the Flappin' Shad and the body style, or a lot of these baits these days, and then that it's got the thick body down here
Right.
and the tail. And this is a thin tail. This dye dapper has a recessed cavity, a small one in it that you can bury a hook up in and keep it almost weedless. But it gives a tremendous action on that tail. And I guess the theory is when the water gets dirtier,
Yeah.
you need some vibration, and that's where that paddle tail comes into
Oh, yeah.
effect. So that's where that dye dapper is another pretty new bait that's really catching on. And this is a smaller one. They make I think a 6-inch. Yeah, they make a thick 6-inch and
Yeah.
longer one. But I've got a thing against paddle tails and real big baits. I always feel like I got to pull it too fast
Yeah.
to get it to work. And that may be more psychological than anything.
Well, we got one left.
One left, and this is probably the hottest thing in baits in, gosh, I don't know how long, in the last year. It's been around a long time. The irony is, fish bites have been around and been in business probably, I don't know, maybe you know better than I do, but probably 10 or 15 years.
Oh, at least, yeah.
Yeah, and it seems like within the last year, fishermen have discovered it. And
You know, the surf fishermen just crazy over it.
it is. It's just nuts. And the ironic thing about the fish bites is that we were talking earlier about the mylar strips and
Right.
the shrimp and how
Right.
it holds the tail together. The same thing is in fish bites. There is a web. The material is impregnated on a nylon web. So what you're fishing with is a strip of material, but inside of here, holding it all together, is a nylon web. Now it will throw it in the water.
That's what I was smelling.
This stuff will eventually dissolve, but perch and they'll kind of nibble at it.
Yeah.
But if this was a live shrimp or a dead shrimp, it'd be gone in 30 seconds with a herd of perch moving through, or hardheads, or whatever you're dealing with. but this is impregnated. It holds this stuff together, and it holds together real well. So it lasts a long time. It puts out, this particular one is crab. Smell crab. And we're coming into the season of the redfish and the black drum.
Oh yeah.
And their predominant food in this time of year, or probably any time, is a crab.
Right.
They'll eat most anything they can get their mouth on, but the crab is their dominant thing. So that crab flavor is really good, and the fish bites are just incredible. It's cheaper than a pound of shrimp, and it lasts a whole lot longer.
Well, we talked earlier about the fish bites, how the color is so immaterial to the fish bites.
Mm-hmm.
If it turns gray or black, or doesn't make any difference, because they're not going for the color with fish bites. They're just going for the taste and the smell.
You're exactly right. Like the shrimp here, now you look at this, the shrimp we looked at earlier.
That's too girly looking.
Well, that's to catch girl fishermen.
Okay.
But that's designed to catch a reaction strike because of color.
Right.
You put Procure on it, a gel or something, then you add a scent to it that adds another incentive for that fish to go through it. But all these colored baits are driving the fish to it for a reaction strike off that color.
Yeah.
Fish bites drive a reaction strike off the smell.
Yeah.
This is flesh-colored crab fish bite. This is also flesh-colored crab fish bite. This is one that's been in my tackle box for 3 or 4 months. It's changed color.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, see how it's changed in color?
Yeah, but it makes no difference.
Makes no difference. So that's why I still have it. I won't throw it away.
Yeah.
I'll continue to use it. And the beauty about fish bites are that even I'll put a fish bite on a spoon.
Absolutely.
You know, because that gives me a scent trailer on my spoon when I pull it through. I'll cut off a little piece and put it on a spoon, and it's doing the same thing, attaching it with an artificial lure as you would just put a hook into it and
Right.
put it out. Yeah, these things are so easy to fish, and sky is the limit as far as your imagination on how you want to fish it.
Yeah. Well, it's definitely a big demand in the surf, and I'm sure it's the same way in the lagoon.
Yeah, same thing in the lagoon. It's all the piers, Packery Channel, all the surf, anywhere that you're bottom fishing.
Right.
You know, a strip of this, you cut it off, just put it on a hook, a sinker,
Yeah.
you're fishing. Yeah, and you can catch anything out there that you can catch with a live shrimp or a dead shrimp or a mullet or a piece of crab. Catch the same things. Put it under a popping cork, do the same thing. It'll catch
Mhm.
trout and redfish as easy as any kind of live bait will. It's just a tremendous tool to have in a tackle box.
Absolutely.
I'm a lure fisherman, but between Procure and fish bites, I guess I'm kind of going to the other side.
There you go. Well, David, I really appreciate you coming by and let's talking about this stuff. Our readers or people that watch our video, they appreciate knowledgeable information. I mean, a guy that knows his business and doesn't mind sharing it with them. And I appreciate you coming and sharing it with our people.
Well, I need any excuse I can to talk about fishing.
I know. Yeah.
But I just love it. It's a great sport. Anybody can do it, and we have some of the best fishing in the world right here at our back
We do.
door. You know, it's just tremendous.
Appreciate it.
Captain Ron, thank you.
All right.